Don't turn the light out, let it burn brighter. I can see so clearly now. For every fear that's fading, another heart is waiting. It takes a man to hold things down.
Yes, guys, we are back with another episode of El Bins, man, celebrating Manchester City's third win in my lifetime at Anfield, the Nobbins' lifetime. Majority of people in this chat's lifetime, 3 wins, unless you're an unk. Yeah, and then you see.
I was actually 8 years old in 1937, so.
Oh, was you? Fair enough. Yeah.
Just moisturise. I moisturise.
Oh, is that what it is? Moisturise, yeah?
Yeah. Clinique. Big up. Not hashtag not sponsored.
But yeah, big up to you guys, man. Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Smash these likes up on the way and make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel as well. Loads to talk about, man. Obviously City getting that win yesterday, very, very rare win at Anfield, of course. That 3-man midfield, of course, with Nico O'Reilly, Rodri, Bernardo Silva, Pep sort of fixing the midfield. We'll speak about that. Is that the way forward? Well, then that causes its own issues with creativity problems. So there's loads of stuff to talk about. The defense, Huzanov, Diaz back from injury. So give us your thoughts in the comment section as well, man. But Nobbins, mate, we actually fucking won at Anfield with fans in the stadium.
Yeah. It is regardless of the issues with the performance, which I'm sorry, but I will be discussing today. There's no doubt that just in isolation, as for the result, regardless of how we played at any point, that is massive. Absolutely. Liverpool didn't help themselves, but to do something which we haven't done, I think, like I saw on Twitter since 1937, which was also when we won the league, and then the next season we got relegated. That's
no,
mad,
we didn't,
isn't it?
did we?
Yeah. So in 1937 we won the league, and then in 38 we got relegated while scoring the most goals in the league.
Yeah, I know about all that kind of shit. Yeah. As if that was that year, bro. So we could win the league and get relegated 1-1-5. Is that what you're saying?
Oh my gosh, it all adds up. Football is cyclical and history is repeating itself. That's what's happening there. Exactly. So that's what, like nearly 90 years or so. So that is absolutely massive, and we can be really happy with the result, of course. And it's a massive feel-good victory. I think that Bernardo even said, or Pep said that Bernardo said that the players felt that if we didn't win yesterday, then the players would accept that the title race was over, basically. So for their own mentality, regardless of do we think it's over, it doesn't really matter what we think. It matters what the players think. Gahey analysis video. Yeah, that is coming out, I promise. And we'll talk about Gahey a lot because he was very, very...
Ahora sí va, en serio. Ahora seguro. Tic-tac, tic-tac, tic-tac. Empezamos.
Gay video. We need it now, bro. Drop the gay video, man. Don't make me do that fucking extra messy press. Remember when you had that extra berry video for ages? And I was like, fucking release it.
Yeah. I will be making. I need to finish a script first of all, but yes. As we can see, he is very, very lovely.
Yeah. Big up to Morgan as well, who's just become a channel member. Appreciate it, Morgan. Thank you very much, man. Right, so when you saw the starting 11 yesterday, no Cherky, which obviously was probably the main talking point before the game started with the City fans online. I imagine City fans in the stadium thinking, fucking hell, no Cherky. Obviously, he's gone with that 3-man midfield with the Nico. I know Bernardo did go forward a little bit at times, getting involved in the attack, but effectively sort of like a Rodri, Nico O'Reilly, Bernardo midfield to sort of solidify that issue that we had, which was our midfield kept on getting exposed. So when you see the starting 11, what was your initial thoughts, man? Was you, because I was kind of like, I wanted Cherky to play, and I think he should have started in that sort of like one of the attacking roles between Marmoush and Semenyo. But I got the midfield selection. I got it. I understood it because we've discussed this over the last couple of weeks about our midfield getting roasted. He needed to do something. He needed to do something to fix it, and he did that with that midfield. What was your thoughts when you saw that starting 11? How did you think it was going to go?
I was confused, to be honest, because we've never seen that collection of forwards. We haven't seen Semenyo and Marmoush and Haaland all play at the same time. The good news was that when I was like going through it, like before the match, I was trying to see, this could be how we set up. This could be how we set up. There were lots of options for us. It was like we could have still played the 4-2-2. We could have played a 2-3. We could have played a 3-2. We could have played a 3-1. So the good news was there were lots of options there, which I did like. And what actually ended up happening was we actually went with a shape that I don't think we've ever seen before. Certainly in possession anyway. It was the same off-ball shape that we have seen, not recently in fairness, but that we've seen basically since the Bournemouth and Liverpool game with our diamond press. But it was essentially that, but in possession as well. So you had the full-backs holding the width and you had a diamond midfield. For the most part, when we're in a settled phase anyway. So you would have Rodri at the base, you'd have O'Reilly and Bernardo either side, you'd have the two strikers, and then you would have Semenyo as like the number 10. Which is odd because Semenyo isn't that type of player necessarily.
Yeah, did you see his heat map yesterday, bro?
No, but I'd be interested to see it because he was technically as like playing as this attacking midfielder, but he did often like drop deep sometimes. He rotated with Bernardo, he rotated with O'Reilly. It was a really interesting role.
I seen it yesterday when I did the player ratings. I always get the heat maps when I do player ratings. Look at Semenyo's heat map yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Really, really interesting. So he was like given this floating number 10 role, whatever you want to call it. Now, it worked and it didn't work. I think that the rationale for why Pep would want to do that is because Semenyo is this amazing player who will get the ball really quickly for you once you lose it. So once you turn over possession, Semenyo's pressing and his dual winning and second ball winning, we know is excellent. So from a rest defense POV, i.e. like when your defensive structure, when you have the ball, when City turn it over, Semenyo can win it back really quickly and he can help be that physical presence. And that is one of the main reasons why we were so good defensively in that first half. So that was what did work. I think that was the rationale behind it. However, the counter to that is he's not. There you go. Yeah, the first touch wasn't ideal. I don't agree. It didn't work off. It didn't work on ball, but as I'm getting into, but it did clearly work off ball because they didn't have a shot on target. It didn't really give City any competent, constructive attacks necessarily. There was clearly an attempt to try to link up Semenyo with Marmoush and Haaland and the rest of the midfield. But because Semenyo isn't a Foden or Cherki type of player, it didn't really work. So it worked, but it didn't work. I get why Pep wanted to try it because I think it was a more defensive approach and it worked for that purpose. But the whole dynamics of that attacking trio sort of didn't really work when we got into the final third. So it was like a trade-off. We approached it more cautiously from a personnel perspective, limited Liverpool to nothing, had supreme control of the game, should have scored at least one goal in fairness, certainly like in like the first 2 or 3 minutes. But then once its attack sort of broke down towards the end. So
yes,
which was interesting. And it confused Liverpool, but I think it also confused us.
Yeah, well, as people have mentioned, right, and big up Bailey in the chat as well, as people have mentioned, it's like, I think, like you say, the defensive side of it worked. It solidified the midfield because you had those 3 players in midfield, and obviously Semenyo was tucking in as well. So it gave us that sort of platform to build. But if we're just being honest, Semenyo and Marmoush didn't have great games on the ball yesterday.
No.
So that was the problem. Now, it'll be interesting to see if Pep runs that system again, but plays Cherki in one of the positions. But I think one of the reasons why he plays Semenyo, especially Semenyo, is because of his physicality. Now, as we all know, Cherki is more physical than maybe many of us expected, but he's not Semenyo. Just fucking look at Semenyo. Like, look at him. Yeah, I'm saying. So, I don't know. Could you potentially play Cherki in the Marmoush role, who's not quite as infield and deep as Semenyo was at times? I don't know, maybe. But or maybe you just go, you know what, on another day, Semenyo and Marmoush play better, and that system would be really, really good. What you do then for Cherki, I don't know. But again, I don't think you would play that Do you really play that sort of system against the lesser teams? I'm not sure you would. I think you against the lesser teams, you need to play Turkey. You need to get a bit more open. Yesterday was about stopping our midfield from getting absolutely rinsed, in my opinion, like it has been doing over the last month, and it worked. It worked, and I said this before the game started. And a lot of people we was talking about it in the chat, and I'm sure you was having your conversations as well about the starting 11. But I was like, we needed to fix the midfield. But when you fix something, you cause another problem somewhere else. So what we did yesterday, we fixed the midfield, fixed in terms of not getting rinsed. How many times?
Defensive solidity and whatnot, yeah.
Defensive solidity. I think they cut through us maybe one time, which was a good bit of play for Liverpool. But so that was good. So Pep Guardiola's fixed that problem. But it then caused a new issue, which was the creativity wasn't really there. But we've not really been creative anyway. Even though we've had our midfield be getting ripped open week in, week out, but we've not really been the most creative over the last couple of weeks. So for me, I think Pep needed to do it. It's now, how does he evolve this? How does he evolve this? Because we do need to become more creative. However, Semenyo and Mamouche didn't particularly play well yesterday, in my view. Anyway, so if them two just get better, then that can be a fix in itself, can't it?
Yeah, and it's easier said than done, of course, because even though I think that Semenyo could work out really well, it's something I suggested in my analysis video, I think he could work well as one of two number 10s, like starting from the right and coming inside. I didn't even really consider the idea of what about him being like just like the number 10 when we only play like a 1-10 system. He's not necessarily got the right now anyway. Marmoush certainly doesn't. The first touch is lacking sometimes, and there were times where it was a little bit lax. And again, that's maybe where a player like Shirky, maybe even Doku, could be a bit more advantageous than a Semenyo. But it wasn't terrible, and it wasn't like it was shit. Like we were better in the first half, and that was the reason for it. I do just wonder how tenable will it be to try it again longer term, or rather was this just like a single use case because we were at Anfield and the aim was to maybe confuse Liverpool, because it did seem pretty clear that Liverpool did look perplexed as to what was going on, which makes sense. It's something we've never done before. You couldn't possibly predicted it. So was that just a novelty factor, or is it something that we'll see again? I'm not sure.
How much do you think Doku would have made a difference in that team yesterday if he was playing in one of the Mamouche or Semenyo positions? Because Doku, I think Doku would have made a massive difference yesterday. If he was one of the two, maybe it probably would have been Mamouche, maybe, because he obviously normally plays off the left. Yeah, I think we really missed Doku. I think he could have made a massive difference. There's also an argument to say, could you potentially play Reinders in that sort of Mamouche position? And I think there is a shout that you possibly could do that. Now, obviously, if you're looking for strength and power, Reinders isn't your man. But then Mamouche isn't the strongest guy either. So that's probably that's kind of like for like. But Reinders is probably more secure on the ball than Mamouche. He's got a better first touch than Mamouche. And he's probably better at creating a chance for Erling Haaland than Mamouche. He's not even a bad shot stopper. So, yeah, Doku for me, probably, if he come in for that left position for Mamouche, I think that would massively help as well.
Yeah, I think there's also an argument that he could have come in for where Semenyo was playing as well. I don't think that it's optimal for Doku, but it's also not optimal for Semenyo. I think that if we're saying like what were the problems with Semenyo playing in that area, it was sort of like the security in possession and like the first touch, and we know that Doku does have that in his locker. So even though I don't think Doku playing there would be optimal, it could potentially work if Semenyo sort of half worked, and I don't see why Doku can't also 3/4 work. None of it's optimal, but we've shown that it can sort of half work a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely hear it. Big up Ben Les, by the way. He says, not sure why Haaland didn't drop deep to lay passes to Semenyo or Mamouche. Did it twice and found Mamouche twice, then went back to being a goalpost, says Ben Les.
I think a big part of his role was trying to like occupy defenders, in fairness, and trying to push back Liverpool's back line to try to give the players behind the strikers a bit more space on the ball.
Yeah, because if he drops deep, Liverpool push. That squeezes us, and then we get under more pressure in midfield. And maybe that's the reason, Ben Les. Yeah, that's a shout. Maybe that is actually the reason. So that if Haaland stays back, Liverpool are more reluctant to push forward.
Yeah,
and squeeze Manchester City.
Yes, because in that first half they had like a +1 on their back line, didn't they? So they committed more bodies to the defence. So if Haaland and Marmoush both like drop deep or whatever, it sounds like a nice idea, but then you've got to think about what does the opponent then do, and then they will press us more. That congests the space all of a sudden, and now there's less space for City to work in, and even less space for someone like Semenyo, who isn't necessarily ideal for that position anyway. Less space for him to operate in.
Yeah. Nah, defo, I think so. Kula says Semenyo got 0 tech. He has 0 tech, bro. But if he puts the ball in the back of the net, yeah, I'm not bothered. And so far, he's doing all right on that one, man. So I'll come to your super chat in a bit, man. Smash these likes up on the way in, chat. If you've not done so already, get these likes up. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel as well if you need. Benler says, surely Semenyo in Haaland position keeps them pushed back.
Yes, it did. We saw that against Wolves, to be fair. And there was another game where we saw it, and I can't remember what it was. Newcastle. Who played against Newcastle? Or was that Haaland? Who started against Newcastle up top?
Their gaff.
In the second leg. Is Marmoush and...
I think Semenyo played, no?
Is it Marmoush Semenyo again? Yeah, so we did play those two in those games. So, yes, we have seen them do it as well. But it means you don't have Haaland on the pitch. That's the trade-off. So Semenyo can do it, and we've seen it happen, but then you don't have Haaland on the pitch.
Yeah, no. I mean, focusing a little bit more on that midfield selection than yesterday, right? Because I thought it was... I think the midfield selection was probably the most sort of interesting sort of talking point from a tactical point of view for City, because it was so different to what we've seen in terms of, we've seen the Bodo game, you've seen United game, where Rodri is just stuck in that midfield on his own, right? And then people are telling me that he's completely washed and finished, right? Even though he's got no support. Yesterday, he had Nico O'Reilly in that midfield, who I thought had a great game. Bernardo Silva, who was top 3 Manchester City players. He got the official man of the match. He didn't get my official man of the match.
Oh really?
He got the Sky Sport, like the official man of the match. Bernardo Silva got.
He was my man of the match as well. Yeah.
I thought Matt Gay robbed. To be honest with you,
that's a good shout as well. To be fair, yeah.
Yeah, Matt Gay robbed. But that midfield 3, right? So talk to me about that, right? Because that, for me, I think Rodri, Bernardo, Nico O'Reilly in the midfield. What do I think? I think solid. Yeah, I think ball control. I think physical. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. And that's the complete opposite to what I've been seeing over the last 4 weeks. I've not seen that sort of dominance in midfield. Yeah, I've seen it for little periods here or there, but I've not seen that physicality. Nico O'Reilly yesterday had 15 ground duels in the game. 15, man. Yeah, and then you got Rodri. I think Rodri was on like 9 or 10 or something, and Bernardo was just doing everything. His stats were crazy. But yeah, talk to me about that midfield 3, because I know we've sort of touched on it during the convo, but like, as a sort of, if we just look at that and focus on that for a second, what do you think that gives this City team? And is it something that can be deployed consistently in games, or do you think in some matches where you're playing mid-table teams, maybe bottom half of the table teams, is it a little bit too defensive? Is this something that we can do for the rest of the season and sort of build on it? A little bit like the treble season tactic where Pep sort of worked out halfway through the season that we could push John Stones, and we just ran with it for the rest of the season. Can we run with this, or is it not really viable for the smaller games and the easier games?
I think that's the trade-off, isn't it? I do think that it's something that you and I discussed. We were like, could we have Rodri and Nico Gonzalez in the team at the same time? But then there was the concern about, what if you need to rest one of them and then you're playing both of them? You can't necessarily do that. So perhaps this is the balance between doing it. Games like at Anfield, games like against Arsenal, games like at St. James's Park, maybe those sorts of games where it is more optimal to have more of a physical, combative midfield. Maybe those could be the games where you do it. But do you need that necessarily at home against Fulham, which is a game we've got coming up next? Perhaps not. Maybe you do, but I'd like to think you don't. It does give you a lot of that solidity. It does, however, take away some offensive work as well. I would be surprised if it would be something that we saw on a really consistent basis. Who knows, though, of course. I think that for me, that the main reason why it worked was the Semenyo. I know he was in the midfield because he was in the Diamond midfield. I do think the main reason why it worked off ball more so was because of the Semenyo inclusion, and also because of the role Bernardo was given, because he would be leading the midfield press out of possession. So he'd be at the tip of the diamond. And then when City didn't have possession, he'd be popping up all over the place. And like in the first half, in that first phase, he'd sometimes be playing a left centre back. was doing like a Tony Kroos at the Euros, which is very interesting. And then he would also like in more settled phases, he would like pop like to like the right side of the diamond, I think it was. So I think Bernardo was the reason why it worked. I think another reason is because we exploited them in the first half, and the same reason why we exploited them in the Etihad game, where we forced them to build up down their right side. So you'll note in that first half how little of the ball Van Dijk and Kerkez had when they were trying to build up from the back compared to Konate and Szoboszlai. And that's how we were able to get a lot of joy, by forcing them to build down the right side. They either punted it or they gave it away, and there were a couple of chances that were created. In fact, I think I might be wrong. I think like there was a really good chance that we created by like Szoboszlai giving the ball away, and then we were able to turn it over high. So I think that's also what gave us control, the fact that we were not letting Liverpool build out from the back. So I'd say that those were the more important elements of why that worked out of possession.
No, I definitely hear it. This guy obviously was a key component of it. I thought he had a fantastic game, and he's really starting to put some decent performances in midfield now. I mean, if we look at some of his defensive stats yesterday, he won 3 out of 5 tackles. He got 15 grounders, 1-8, won one of his aerial duels as well, 2 recoveries. I mean, it was just a really, really solid performance. Yeah, passing stats all nice there. Just really solid, man. And he's really coming in. He's getting, because I've always said, like, I've said this a lot, but I think before this season, I really struggled to think of a midfield game where he's played well. And I know he's not had that many, but in these last sort of couple of weeks when he's been playing in midfield, I think he's been really, really, really good. I think he's starting to settle down in that midfield. I think as well, he's starting to realise the pace of the game and how long he has on the ball and all that kind of stuff. But he's looking really good. And Tuchel was there again yesterday in the stadium, because I think Tuchel really likes O'Reilly. I think he really likes him.
I don't think he'll play in midfield for England, but
no.
As for left backs, realistically, I don't think he has any actual competition. I think that it's O'Reilly or bust. He's very clearly the best option based on who's been playing this season, in my opinion. Okay, yeah, Lewis Hall is good, and Lewis Skelly is good, but I think O'Reilly's like a different level.
And if you think of how Tuchel's probably going to build this England team, I think he's trying to go for power. That's what he's trying to do.
O'Reilly,
look at a lot of the players that are in the midfield that he's going to go for. That's why I think Foden's going to be cooked in them. I don't think Foden's going to get in the team, because he's going to go for powerful players. I think Morgan Rogers, he's got a real chance of getting in that starting 11. Rashford, powerful, explosive player. I think these are the players that Tuchel wants to build the team. And you look at O'Reilly, look how physical he is. So yeah, yes. O'Reilly is crazy, man, because a year ago, if you would have said O'Reilly's going to be starting for England at the World Cup, people would have freaking locked you up, man. But that's where we're at. But yeah, no, I probably agree what you're saying there on the midfield. I think it was a solid midfield is something that we needed to do, something that you can probably deploy in bigger games, tougher test games, but against maybe like 60% of the league, against sort of the weaker sides, bottom, I don't know, 20th to maybe 9th, 10th, something like that. I don't know if it's got enough creativity in it to unlock defenses. So I don't know if it's something that we are going to see on a regular basis, but it was just nice to see us put in that sort of solid midfield performance, because what we've seen over the last couple of weeks has been the complete opposite, man. So yeah, that was certainly good. Let's have a look at what some of you guys are saying in the chat, guys. Citizen says Nico O'Reilly's improved as midfielder, definitely looks more comfortable these days. Yeah, exactly, man. And what it does is as well, it takes the pressure off the other players in that midfield area, because we know that we can give them a rest and trust him as well.
I also just want to do a quick shout out to Ait Nouri, because he was my low-key man of the match. I know he's not going to get anyone's, but I thought he was amazing. I felt O'Reilly was a big factor in him playing well, because he was like allowing Ait Nouri to push up to that left side and was covering the space he was vacating. So it's like big up to that combination as well.
Nah, defo. Shout out to MCFC, says, I don't know if he's reliable, but Mark Ogden from the ESPN says that Company is front runner to succeed Pep. Enrique, Maresca, Alonso also options. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. Obviously, Pep's saying again that he's staying next season, so it's probably going to be at the end of next season. And maybe I think Company's got a contract till 2029, maybe, or something like that. I think he just had a new deal.
An extension recently, didn't he?
Yeah. So we'll see, man. I'd be surprised if it's not Vincent Kompany. I'd be very surprised if it's not Vincent Kompany. If it's this season, maybe not. Yeah, but if Pep goes next year, I'd be very surprised if it's not Vinny Kompany, to be honest with you. Yeah, very surprised. And I'd fucking be buzzing. I can't.
Yeah, I think he's proving himself. Just like, whether does he want to take the poison chalice of being the manager straight after Pep? That's the only question, I guess.
Yeah, I would. I'd take it if I was him. I really would. I think he's the man. I think he's the man for the job after Pep Guardiola. Shout out to Perfect Soul says, Nobbins, are you ready to admit Donnarumma's not a mistake?
I don't know why yesterday's game would make me change my mind on Donnarumma. Can I have more context? Because what happened yesterday is what I've been saying about Donnarumma since before we signed him, to be fair, in fairness to me. So I need more clarification on the question.
Yeah. So you need to respond in the chat. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I thought yesterday, Donnarumma, it's sort of like the perfect game to see why he's such an amazing goalkeeper, but at the same time, why he can be a little bit of a problem. Because
which and again, that's what I've been saying since before we signed him. Just FYI.
No, I know. Yeah, because some of his passing and that, like it was kind of mad because I didn't want. Well, Donnarumma kept on playing the ball out from the back, which I thought at times was just stupid. But we do it all the time, right? Because we just invite pressure, and it just looked like we was about to give a goal away from passing the ball out to the box. But the problem is, every time we was going long, the ball was just coming back to us. So we were kind of screwed, really. So these passing stats were horrendous. However, at the same time, that save from McAllister, deflected volley, chat, was absolutely incredible. And listen, I think the pros and cons in it with Donnarumma. Yeah, his passing isn't the best. Yeah, he's obviously doesn't settle us down in terms of playing out from the back, and his long balls are not always great. But at the end result is we just beat Liverpool at Anfield, and he was a crucial part of that with his. And by the way, I thought bar one time yesterday, I thought coming collecting for corners, that's his best game he's had for Manchester City.
Yes, there was just one bad moment in the first half. But apart from that, I agree.
Which followed a really good punch, didn't it? Because he come out, he done a punch, which was a really good punch. Then the ball come back in, and he just sort of flapped it. But by that one, I think that was probably his best game for Manchester City in terms of coming out, collecting crosses, and punching them away. Some really good saves. And I just think it's a weird one because we've been used to Ederson for so long, of so calm on the ball, and it does help us. And we do miss that build-up play. But at the same time, is Ederson saving that shot from McAllister? He probably doesn't. He doesn't because he's smaller than Donnarumma, and Donnarumma only just fucking reached it. So it's one of them for me. And I think in the big games, you know what I mean? I think Donnarumma probably will come in clutch. You know, throughout a 38-game league campaign, is it? I don't know. It's a trade-off. I've always thought, in cup competitions, I think you're much better off having a Donnarumma in goal. That's my personal belief, because I think in a one-off
moment goalkeeper.
Yeah, look at Liverpool. I always, and the example that I always use is that Champions League final between Liverpool and Real Madrid a few years ago. Liverpool, I don't know if there's any Liverpool fans in the chat. Liverpool absolutely cooked Real Madrid in that game. Yeah, if you brought up the XG, I don't know what it would have been. Courtois in that game made so many unbelievable saves. Yeah, it was unreal. They go down the other end, win the game like 1-0 or something, right? And so for me, in a cup competition, I think you are better off having a Donnarumma style. In a league season over 38 games, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Now, in the big games in the season, derbies, Liverpool, Emirates, you probably still are better. But, over the course of the other game, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I just thought yesterday was the perfect game to see Donnarumma, both his pros and cons. On the ball, not great. Yeah, bad, if we're being honest. But he made the big save that won us the game.
Yeah. The Ederson comparison is a red herring, to be honest, because it's irrelevant to say, does Ederson make the save? Because I would counter to that and say there's a difference between shot prevention and shot stopping. I would contend that the shot doesn't actually end up happening in the first place. So the comparison, would Ederson make the save, I think is missing the point of the discussion, to be honest. People can be happy with the saves that Donnarumma's making in those moments, and I'm obviously one of those. But at the same time, what they can't do is play ignorant and go, well, why are we playing so much worse in second halves? If you want to be happy about one, you have to therefore accept the other, to be honest with you. So when people are acting like it's a big mystery as to why are City struggling so much in second halves? Oh, this is an impossible situation to analyze. you can't play ignorance whilst also only looking at the positives of what Donnarumma does. You have to accept the trade-off between the two.
Yeah.
And I think I've been very balanced this season, to be fair. I've applauded Donnarumma when he's done very well. I have outlined the reasons why we have been worse in second halves. We saw that against Liverpool yesterday. Why was City worse in the second half? Well, because Liverpool went man-to-man in their pressing scheme in the second half. That forced City to not have any of the ball from around the 45th minute through to the 75th minute. Now, if you're happy with that trade-off, then you're happy with that trade-off. But you can't just ignore, I'm not saying you as in LB, I'm just you, the general. You can't ignore the negatives that come with it. If you want to argue the trade-off is worth it, that's a different comparison to have, absolutely. But it's not a coincidence that every single second half where we have struggled this season, why is it we are struggling? The pattern is the same every single time. The pattern is an opponent comes out to us and engages us more so in a press. This is what the data tells us. This is what our eyes tell us. If you watch my post-match analysis videos, then you'll have seen this data. It's very well reflected, for example, in a metric called passes per defensive action. Essentially, it illustrates pressing. I haven't looked at Liverpool's data yet, but I bet you my mortgage that their pressing will have increased in that second half. They were willing to take the risk at the back. We were talking about, they were leaving like a +1 at the back. They abandoned that +1 at the back in the second half because they felt the risk was worth it. And they were correct. And yes, the free kick was lovely, but let's be honest, they should have scored a goal or 2 or 3 before that. This is where the negativity comes in.
We got a bit lucky there.
Yeah, this is where the negativity comes in from me. The only reason why we won the game yesterday is because Arne Slot is a terrible manager. Or was a terrible manager yesterday, and he backed off for no reason in the 80th minute. That's why we lost. He backed off. He allowed City to come back into the game, and from there we regained the control that we got in the first half, and from there Liverpool capitulated. So we can be happy with the result, obviously, but if we are trying to be fair and not just trying to do results-based analysis, that is the reason why it happened. That's the reason why we dropped points against Spurs. It's why we dropped points against Chelsea. It's why we dropped points against Brighton. It's why we looked worse against teams like Fulham, etc., etc. The pattern is there every single time. If people don't want to see that pattern and they just want to play player FC one-upmanship, then that's fine. But that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to try to outline what's the objective reality. So people can say that Nobbins just hates Donnarumma, but that's not fair or true. I think I'm being quite balanced, in fairness. I don't think it's fair.
Yeah, how much do players like Semenyo and Haaland need to do better when we go in long? Because
a lot better. Haaland was very bad yesterday against Van Dijk.
Yeah, because this is what I'm saying about Donnarumma's like passing and that, and everyone will get onto his passing, and I get it because his passing ain't great. Yeah, I hear that, right? But at the same time, bro, every time Donnarumma was putting it in an area for like Haaland or Semenyo or whatever, fucking it just neither of them won anything. And I'm like, it's all right mentioning Donnarumma and saying, oh well, Donnarumma's got to he's not going to improve his passing to Ederson's standard, but like it's basically saying he's part of the problem or whatever. But like, I've got to look at Haaland and Semenyo and say, come on, lads, you need to start winning some more fucking headers and winning some of these. Like, look at sizes both. We're going long. And like, I thought when we signed Semenyo that our long balls and sort of like winning long balls and second balls would improve. And that's not really seemed to happen. So I think them two have to get a little bit better at that as well. And because if they don't, we are going to be in a problem. We're going to be stuck in a bit of a problem where, like in the second half yesterday, you can't play out from the back because we can't do it because we're not comfortable at doing it. Yeah. And when we go long, we lose the ball, AKA we're fucking cooked.
Yeah, and I absolutely agree. I think so. For the first 15 minutes, it was Marmoush and Haaland, wasn't it? And then it swapped when Shirky came on around the 60th minute. So on an individual level, yes. I mean, Marmoush is never going to beat Konate in the air. That's the first thing to say. So that's a battle that's never going to happen. So the battle then becomes, can Haaland beat Van Dijk in the air? And Van Dijk is an amazing aerial defender. Now, he should have done better, absolutely. But I think that if you are playing a long ball game, you are, and this is where language matters. It's a long ball, not a long pass. You are inherently playing a more 50-50 game of football. So even if you've got a player who is better in the air than a defender, it doesn't always necessarily matter. You're still not playing the averages in your favor. So I agree that individually, Haaland could have done better, should have done better, against Van Dijk, even though he is an exceptional aerial defender. But by definition, you are giving yourself less of a chance of retaining possession. Even if you have a player who is really good, even if you have, I don't know, even if you had Ivan Toney up there, who's an amazing hold-up striker or has been the past few years, you're still inherently playing a lower percentage football than what you would be playing in an alternative universe. So agreed, absolutely, those players need to do better. And it's not just Donnarumma who needs to do better, by the way. Gahey needs to do better, and Kusanov needs to do better, and Nunes needs to do better. Everyone could be doing better, but there are certain chains which are weaker than others, and it's not unfair to point those out.
Do you think that, I don't know, obviously you don't have a crystal ball, but do you think in the end the trade-off will be worth it across a full season? And do you sort of agree with me that maybe in the cup competitions it's less of an issue? Maybe
definitely agree that if you have the Donnarumma who we saw against Man United, and if you have the Donnarumma that we saw against Liverpool, and if you have the Donnarumma that we saw against the other United game, then I would agree that is how you win a Champions League, definitely. And if you have the Donnarumma that we saw in the quarterfinal and semi-final last season, I totally agree. Yes. If you have the Donnarumma from his first 3 seasons at PSG, then no. If you have that version of him, then the answer is no. So it depends which one turns up, but that's the point of it being a moments competition, isn't it? So I totally agree that in the moments, and it's the same thing with Haaland as well. I'd throw Haaland into this equation as well. He's also a striker who can be that guy in the moments. He can just win you the game with just one moment. Even though I don't think Haaland played well yesterday, but he got an assist and he got a goal. So who cares whether he played well or not?
Moments.
Exactly. He won the game. So, and I think you can apply it to both. And this is that thing which people talk about being able to be excellent in both boxes. But it depends what sort of play you get on the night. Is the trade-off worth it? I think it's disingenuous for people to conclude either way. I don't think we've seen enough football yet. I need to see at least a season of it before I make that conclusion. I don't think it's fair to conclude either way. I think that people are getting... Because I think both people... I'm sorry to be a centrist. I don't normally like being a centrist. But I think that people concluding strongly either way are just desperate to be proven correct. I don't think that's fair to do. I don't think that's the correct thing to do.
Yeah, no, I hear it, man. I hear it. Let's see what you guys in the chat are saying. Shout out to City Star. He says 4-2-2-2 is good defensively against big teams because stops wide counters. Also, it's good offensively against weak teams. You get lots of 1v1s and overpower them, says City Star with the 11 months. Yeah, I think, is that the what sort of play we played that against Galatasaray in the first half? It felt like.
Yes. Yes.
I kind of liked it. I liked it. I thought it was good, man. I thought it was very fluid. Very fluid. Because you got all the techie ballers in the midfield area. You know what I mean? So it's quick and fluid, you know what I'm saying? No, I agree. Big up City Star, mate. Big up to you. Toll says Haaland won 60% of his aerial duels to Virgil van Dijk's 40%.
That's interesting. It felt like it was a lot. Felt like it was a lot worse than that. I guess that the retorts to that be how many of those long balls actually resulted in an aerial duel, because there's no way that we were retaining possession 60% of the time when we went long to Haaland. There's no way that we were. If we were, then we wouldn't have had a situation from minute 45 to 75. I don't know if you noticed it. It was so funny. Liverpool would have a shot and it would show a replay of the shots. It would pan to the crowd, their reaction. By the time the camera goes back to the match, Liverpool have the ball back. That happened on repeat for about 20 minutes. I didn't understand what was going on. It's like, this is a simulation. Have we not had our goal kick? What's happening? Something was happening in that period as well when the cameras weren't even on the pitch.
Yeah, and I said that as well in the watch along, in that that was part of the problem in that second half, is that when we played the ball out to Aït-Nouri or to Nunes or whatever, they were pressing us so heavy that they were turning back and we were just losing the ball straight away. So then when Donnarumma went, this time we'll just go long, we weren't winning the header. So what do you do? What do you do in that situation? You can't go long. You can't play short. What the fuck do you actually do?
I think that's also a really good thing of why passing accuracy is a redundant stat for things like this. So if Haaland has won 60% of his aerial duels, okay, that's fine. But where does that aerial duel win go? What does it result in? Does it just result in Haaland wins the header technically, but then it goes backwards and then Alisson claims it? Does he win it, but then Van Dijk just like steps in front of him and he gets it? Does he win it, but it goes straight to a Liverpool player? So we need to have like with the context with all of these data points. It's why like passing accuracy is a very bad stat to use when talking about like a goalkeeper's ability to keep hold of the ball, for example. We need more context than that.
What can you actually do, right, in that situation? So say that second half happens again, right? And
yes. Oh god.
They're pressing us. Donnaruma's got the ball.
Yeah.
He's kicked the ball out to Aït-Nouri a couple of times. He's kicked the ball out to Núñez a couple of times. And every time, basically, is what happened yesterday. Them guys got pressed, they lost the ball, or they just launched it forward, we lost the ball. So that's ruled out. We can't play out from the back. Second option, we go long, but we weren't winning any headers.
Yeah.
What can City do in that situation? To fix that? Because I look at that and go, how do you get out of this situation? You can't play short, you can't go long.
I think that Gvardiol coming back will help a lot. That's the first thing to say.
As a centre back or as a left back?
Centre back, left centre back.
Okay.
He will help a lot because he's nearly as important as Rodri in respect of our phase one chain. So I'd say it will improve first of all, because I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think we've seen a game where we've had or started all three of Aït-Nouri, Gvardiol and Rodri all at the same time.
No, because when Aït-Nouri started the season, Gvardiol was injured, and then Gvardiol come back, Aït-Nouri got injured.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that would, in the first instance, I'd like to see that. And this is why I'm not willing to commit either way on the question you asked me earlier about, is the trade-off worth it? Because that's an excellent left-sided build-up chain, for example. So that could be really, really good. So that's one way to help resolve that. If that still doesn't help out the issue, then I think that I think you drop Marmoush. I don't think you start Marmoush in that situation, or you take him off even earlier.
Yeah, I agree. I think Marmoush is fucking going to struggle for minutes, mate. Unless he's just a backup Haaland. And I like the player. Just FYI, I like the player. I think Marmoush is a good player. But I just really struggle to see how he fits in this team. Really struggle.
Yeah, so I wouldn't play Marmoush in that. If you're asking me like how do you optimize it, I wouldn't even consider playing Marmoush. I don't think he works. I wouldn't consider playing Reinders. I wouldn't consider playing Foden. I don't even know if I'd maybe squeeze in Shirky, but I don't even think I'd consider really playing Shirky. I'd probably play, if you want to stick with that 4-2-2, I'd probably have like Semenyo and Haaland up top. I'd probably have O'Reilly as one of the number 10s. I'd have like Bernardo and Rodri, or Nico and Rodri at the base, and then maybe Shirky the other side. Because that is now a forward and I guess it's like midfield area where nearly every single one of those players is a really good. Oh, but where's Doku? Oh, he's injured, isn't he? We can throw in Doku there at some point if he comes back. In fact, yes, let's assume everyone's fully fit. I'd probably have Doku as one of the number 10s actually, because he's an amazing outlet. I'd have all the outlets I can on the pitch essentially, and all the second ball winners on the pitch. Those who are really good at winning knockdowns and those who are really good at winning the ball after the first battle is what I would do. Generally, I think that's how you'd optimize it, because if you're accepting that you have to go long, then you've got to accept that you need as many outlets on the pitch as you can. And you've got to accept that you need as many second ball winners on the pitch as you can. That's not Foden. That's not Reinders. That's not Marmoush. That is a player like Doku, though. It's not even Shirky, actually. But that is a player like Doku. That is Semenyo. That is Haaland as well. Bernardo. Rodri, etc. So that's what I would do if the question is how do you optimize it. Now, I don't want us to do that because I don't want to play long ball percentage football. But if the question is how do you optimize it, then that's what you could do, I guess.
Yeah. Fucking hell. That's why I don't think it's going to be a thing that we continue to do. I think we find a way of making it work. But yeah, we'll see. I think Rodri getting back to fitness will help.
That will help.
Every sort of like percentage gain he gets back to his best, he gets more sharper. He can come and receive the ball deep and he's really good at moving that ball forward. And that's like one of his major strengths is getting the ball forward, with his progressive passes. So yeah, I think that will help, man. But I don't know. I still feel like Pep's trying to work everything out, to be honest with you. I still think we're in February. I still don't think Pep fully knows like how to set the team up in terms of I'm not even saying that I'm not going against Pepe. I think because I don't really know what the best thing to do is right now. I've seen City play a number of different systems and sort of styles this season. I thought the best way we've looked is when we played that sort of more counter-attacking style football earlier on in the season. But that's again, is that really like that's not a long-term sort of solution for Pep Guardiola, is it? That's not. I think that's the best we've looked this season. But is that how Pep Guardiola's going to set the team up? No, and you know, it's all well good saying play like that, but when you play like fucking Brighton or like someone where you have the ball, you're not going to play that. So that's limited. That's not really a sustainable option either. So I don't know how we get the team set back up, mate, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a tricky one because I think that the most worrying thing is that it's not even like teams have to do some mad tactics to, they don't have to do anything mad to get onto us and to change the course of a game. Like the term that I've been using is that City are way too malleable, i.e. we are way too easy to influence depending on what the opponent does. All Spurs had to do was go to a back four and compact the centre to have a way better second half against us. All Liverpool had to do was go man-to-man against us to have a way better second half against us. All these teams have to do is do very basic things, and then we crumble. Now, if these were excellent, elite teams who were doing this, then maybe it's less of a problem. But it's the fact that it's every single team that's of every single tactical level doing very small things that is the worry for me. And I love the fact that we won yesterday, of course, but we can't ignore the fact that we did see it again. So the result hasn't changed my mind as to what the issues have been at City this season, unfortunately. It's still lovely to get the win, and thankfully Liverpool imploded, and we took advantage of that, absolutely, and we do deserve massive credit for that. But that's my biggest concern, I guess, how easy we are to influence depending on what the opponent does. Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, I want to ask you about some individual player performances, man, because there were some really good ones yesterday. Shout out to Blue Cactus Bear. About says, so why don't teams start this way? We can see it.
Risky. It's risky to do it from the off. Liverpool took the gamble in the second half. They left Hall and isolated it against Van Dijk at the back.
Yeah,
it's just a massive risk to do that. The reason why we see it more so in second halves is because usually we're winning in first halves, so teams have less to lose, so they come on to us more. That's normally why they don't do it first half.
Good answer. We got told, so Semenyo won 100% of his aerial duels. 3 out of 3 was Mamouche who was poor in the air. Yeah, but the thing is with all these stats, right? Yeah. Is like, I don't believe these stats, mate, with respects. Because you're not telling me, like, basically what you've just said there in the last super chat as well, yeah, is that basically Haaland was winning the majority of his aerial duels, and so was Semenyo. But how many aerial duels did they not even get involved in? They just let Van Dijk or let someone have the header and not try and challenge. So for me, at the end of the day, yeah, I don't believe these stats, bro. Like the stats are not statting. I watched the game with my eyes yesterday, and I'm telling you, the majority of the long balls that we made came straight back to us. And again, like Nobin say, if we go long, yeah, because what you have to do on this tour, you have to check each one. Because if we went long and Semenyo won the aerial duel but immediately lost it, right? Is that a win? No, for me, right? If you win an aerial duel, you've won the ball and then you've played it to a City player. That should be a successful aerial duel. If you just win the ball off an aerial duel and give it straight away, have you really won it? No, you've not, because you've lost the ball. That's part of the same thing.
Yeah.
So I doubt that is included in that stat, because I think that is just, did they get the ball and did they receive it? And if they did, that's a success. No, I want you to win the ball and then play it to a Manchester City player. If you did, that's a success for me.
Yeah, it always depends. And this is why, going back to the passing accuracy point, it depends what happens after the duel. And so it can be a good stat to use, but it does need to be viewed through the lens of context, for sure.
Well, that's what he said. They won the duels but can't control the ball. Yeah, so then it's fucking pointless, isn't it?
Yeah.
They might as well just not win the fucking duel. Mm-hmm. They've not won the duel, have they? Because they've won it and then give it away straight away. So for me, it's I don't want to separate it between winning it and then passing it as a separate thing. It's not. It's all one thing. You win the ball, you move it on. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. We most definitely have to be better at winning the second balls from a knockdown. That's what I think the biggest issue is, second balls and recoveries. And that's why we're looking at the likes of Anderson. We got linked to Bruno Guimaraes again in the week because we need players like that. I'd sign them both. Said it already. That's what I'd do this summer. I'd sign them both of them, mate. Sign Anderson and Bruno Guimaraes. Get them both in there. Yeah, because that's the issue. Yeah, when we lose the ball, fucking no second ball winners. Anyway, big up to Tom. I appreciate the super chats. I want to ask you about some before we wrap it up. I'm going on Saeed's channel after this, boys, for midday live. So make sure you come over there. That should be fun. A rare W for me to celebrate on the channel. But let me go through some of the individual player performances. I thought the two centre backs were very, very good. Huzanov, as I think Pep's really liking Huzanov at the moment because I was convinced in this game Pep was going to drop Huzanov for Diaz. Diaz has been back training for about a week. It's Anfield. He's not the captain, but he's sort of one of the captains. Huzanov's still very young, but I was very surprised he stuck with Huzanov. I thought he had a great game until he had to go off injured. Obviously, look at him getting stuck in there. He took a knee to the face. Gay, very composed on the ball. Gay was my man of the match. I thought he was absolutely excellent. And you know what, as well, I've seen quite a lot of Liverpool fans online. Seen a TikTok this morning of a Liverpool fan saying, like, we basically fucked up massively not getting this guy. What a performance. And by the way, I don't know if you're seeing this, but check the mentality as well from Mark Gay. Look at his comments after the game. He says...
him getting booed, was it?
No, that was a different one. Yeah, no, he said the belief has to be there. When you come to places like Anfield, it's tough. Everybody knows that. But if you can't come here and believe, then what's the whole point of playing the game in the first place? Facts, bro.
Yeah, of course. Come on, man. If you're not in it to win it, then what's the point? Yeah, I totally agree.
My man of the match.
That's respectable. That's a respectable choice.
It's a respectable choice, isn't it? Yeah, I thought he was great. I ignore it. It's coming into his own now, isn't he? He needs to make his decision making a bit quicker when he gets in the final third. Yeah, but really good, man. I thought he defended really well against Salah. That's been one of his. Obviously we've not seen a lot of him, but some of the criticisms I've seen from some people have said, "Oh, he's not great defensively or whatever." But I think he's been really good defensively in these last few games. It gives us such an outlet going forward. And you know what, as well, right? He carries the ball. He drives with the ball as well. And I've seen people say, like, when you go to against like sort of man-to-man, like when the opposition's man-to-man marking you, one of the ways you can exploit that is by taking the player on, because then when you get past them, you're in free space. Then you either keep running or someone has to leave there, man. And it's like a domino effect. I thought he was great as well. And that's given us some real options now, because now you've got Nico Riley and Ait Nouri as genuine left back options. Both offering you something slightly different, but both great.
Yeah, massive. And Ait Nouri is such a fantastic technical player. You can tell that he was like a left winger in another life, and he plays there for his country or whatever sometimes. He was wonderful. I thought he gave Szoboszlai a massive headache throughout the entire first half. I thought he was fantastic. I'm a big fan of Ait Nouri. I think he's a great signing.
Yeah, he was great. Bernardo Silva, I mean, you give him your man of the match. You got the official man of the match. He was probably top 2, top 3 man of the match for me. He was absolutely outstanding, I thought, yesterday. Ran his socks off, involved in the assist. Could have had a assist in the first 2 minutes or robbed of another one. He played the passing behind for Nunes for the penalty. Just a fantastic performance.
Yeah, I think even without the goal contributions, like, he would have got man of the match for me. He was absolutely integral to how we were so good in that first half, especially. But that's just the cherry on top, like making that gamble, reading the game, being in the right place at the right time, and then identifying that the weakness in Liverpool is that gap in between Kerkez and Van Dijk, and he exploited that for that ball and behind for the penalty.
Would you give him a new deal?
I keep going. Someone said it in my chat. I quite like this. They said I'm in a bit of a toxic relationship with Bernardo Silva, and I think I'm the same. It's like me and De Bruyne last season. I keep going back and forth as to whether it's the right decision to give him like a cheeky 1 year. And my heart says yes, but my brain does wonder, is that an error to do that?
I would give him a contract if Rodri leaves.
Oh, do you think Rodri's leaving?
I think there's a strong possibility.
Right, I didn't even really consider that. Maybe you do, because maybe you do give him a contract, even if Rodri stays, in fairness, because this is such a... We've seen us go from one of the oldest squads in the league to one of the youngest squads in the league. So as this rebuild is happening, do you still want some of those old heads around just to see through the new signings? So maybe next season with a more reserved role, but still a leadership role, perhaps that's a little 1 year. extension, maybe. I wouldn't be against it. Because it's not like a De Bruyne where he's injured and you can't trust he's injury he's always available, Bernardo, basically. Like he had an incredible knock, or he was an incredible doubt for this game, and he started it and he was amazing.
The problem is he's at a weird age, right? Because he's 31. He's probably going to do what Gundogan did. He's not going to want that,
yeah.
He's not going to want a 1 year deal. This is what happened with Gundogan. I think Gundogan was slightly older. I think Gundogan was 33 maybe, or 32 or something. And even he didn't accept it at that age. So the problem that Bernardo's going to go, Bernardo's probably going to have 3, maybe 4 year contracts on the table from certain clubs in the summer on a free transfer. And I don't think you're going to be able to get him on a 1 year deal. So yeah, for me, it depends on what Rodri does. If Rodri stays, I think I'd move him on and say, thanks for everything. Bring in Anderson. I honestly, I'd go for them both, Nobbins. I'd go for Anderson and Bruno G, and I'd bring them both in. I'd let Kovacic go. I'd let Bernardo go. Bring Anderson in. Bring Bruno G in. And then I think that midfield would be absolutely incredible.
That would be disgusting.
Yeah, if Rodri goes, I'd keep Bernardo and maybe just get one of them. In a FIFA scenario. Yeah, which by the way, City have been playing FIFA for the last 2 years. Yeah, so when people say it's not FIFA, it's literally FIFA right now. That's what I would do. But yeah, I think as I keep saying, I think Bernardo Silva is a big game player. He's a big game player. That's what he's there for.
He's been amazing this season, yeah. And I was wrong about him in the summer. I thought, oh gosh, we're going to make him captain. He's going to play loads of games. That's going to be a bad thing. We need Reinders to be playing instead of Bernardo. But he's been way better than I thought he was going to be. He's been fantastic, and he's been vital to a lot of our really good performances. So yeah, Bernardo deserves a lot of credit and respect from City fans this season, definitely.
Yeah,
massive.
Definitely. City Star says need an engine midfielder, can't keep win the ball. Yeah, I know. Anderson, Bruno G are the two that spring to mind. Any others off the top of your head?
What was that? Sorry.
Any others off the top of your head for sort of your engine midfielders?
Belabor, but you're not going to get him because it's going to be too expensive. But that with a sort of mold as well, I suppose. Anderson. Bruno
I think
G,
it's Anderson. Isn't it? It's going to be Anderson.
He's the one that he makes too much sense because not only are we linked with him, but he also fits the profile, he also fits the age, and he's also homegrown. And there's a reason why we have been targeting homegrown players recently. It's because we are still walking that tightrope. So it makes a lot of sense for a number of reasons. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think of my tactic goal for both him and Bruno G?
We're not going to get. I love Bruno G. You know that, but we're not going to get Bruno G.
Why? He's got 2 years left on his contract, man.
It's not going to happen, is it? Let's be real. It's not happening. I'm sorry. We're not getting Elise. We're not getting Bruno Guimaraes. It's not happening.
We need
I'm afraid.
to get Elise, man. Honestly, we need to go put 150 million.
It's not happening. It's not. We're not getting him. It's not happening.
Yeah. If you sell Savio and Marmoush, yeah, and bro, honestly, you're halfway there with the fees. Trust me.
I don't think it's a question of fees. I don't think it's a question of fees.
What's that a question of?
He's player, mate. Pardon?
I need this player.
I know you do. I know you're excited about the concept of him, but he is at the Bayern Munich, so I don't think it's that straightforward. He's only been there for a couple of years as well.
7 GA this season.
I'm not denying his quality. If anything, it's the quality that's making the point that we're not going to get him out of Bayern. Company's Bayern, no less.
His contract?
He's only been there for 2 years, hasn't he?
3 years left on his deal.
Only 3 years. Bring him in. We should have brought him in Jan.
Yeah, we should have done. Yeah, I don't know. Because I don't know. Do you think we're going to sign a winger this summer? Do you think Savio Marmoush might leave in the summer?
It depends on outgoings. I think that maybe what will happen is we'll see all of them try to coexist for 1 season, and minus Bob, obviously. And then they'll probably see, right, do I actually have a chance in this squad? Do I not? And then maybe they'll go in the summer of 2027. That's what I think
Marmoush goes this summer, mate. My prediction.
As early as that, really?
Yep.
Wow. I think I can see that. I do think that he will stick around for a season, though, to see if it works. Especially if we keep playing 2 up top as well, then that's doubled his chances of playing in like his actual proper position as well. So,
do you know he's played 340 minutes of Premier League football this season?
Was that where? Sorry,
in the Premier League for City.
That's what he's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was injured in that AFCON, to be fair, but yes, he could have played a bit more.
He could have played a bit more. 6 minutes, 8 minutes, 16 minutes, 3 minutes, 1 minute, bench, 281 minutes, 1 minute.
It's not ideal. Yeah. But we're now playing. But how many minutes has he played since the Wolves game?
Since the Wolves game, 74 minutes, 1 minute, 61 minute, 90 minutes.
You guys a bit healthier, isn't it? So
it is a bit healthier. Yeah, it is. I'll say we'll see what happens, man. I don't know. I just think that maybe he might just get off. Who knows? But we'll see. Yeah, it's Bacadu season, bro. Hashtag no to projects, though, isn't it? You know what I mean? What is that? How does the project work if they're already at the football club? Does that work?
Well, they're still a project, aren't they? By your logic, we need to burn the academy to the ground.
Yeah, justice for Etch and Messi, mate. I can't lie. Yeah. All right, big up, man. Big up Perfecto, who says, did you see Haaland pushing Pep Linders and Gay to celebrate in front of the Liverpool fans at the end of the game? Lord, bro likes to stir rival. Yeah, I did. I seen him do it to Pep Linders, which was quite funny. And to be fair, I thought Linders was going to be like, no, stop. And he was kind of loving it, wasn't he?
He was enjoying it. Yeah,
he was loving it, mate. He was loving it. Big up to you, bro. Big up to Emperor. Says Pep and Bernardo leave next season together. Says Emperor. It's possible. It's fucking possible, mate. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
All right, then, bro. Anything else that we missed or need to cover?
I don't think so. I think we've covered everything there pretty much.
How big is the game on Wednesday for you?
For the purposes of like being in a title race?
The purposes of like, oh, we're actually serious in terms of like, yo, this is on. Yeah, this title race is on. This club is serious.
I think we have to win every single game relatively comfortably from now on to the Arsenal game.
Yeah.
To if we want to be in a proper title race, I'd say. And that's a lot of games, but there's a lot of winnable games in there as well.
There is.
So
I'd say the hardest game maybe is the Leeds away game. But we've got a week off, so we're going there fresh.
Yes. Yeah. Good point.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So, would you play Rodri on Wednesday?
I'd like Nico to play if you can.
Really?
Yeah, I like Nico.
I'd play Rodri. and then I'd send him to Spain. I'm going to give him because we don't play another game then for 10 days because obviously he's not going to play Salford. So
good point.
Because we've not got a midweek game the week after. So if you play him on Wednesday, you then basically can give him like 5-6 days off. And then bring you back for that Newcastle game at home. And by the way, the Newcastle, I didn't even know this. The chat told me it last night. Newcastle have got a playoff Champions League game the week before and the week after we play them, I believe.
Big.
So I guess
hopefully lose the first leg 1-0 or something.
Hopefully lose the first leg 1-0 and they put in like mad effort to try and get back in the game. They're absolutely knackered. We play them and then they go, oh, you know what? We need to just foot this game off and focus on Karabak's second leg. That's the ideal situation.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, man. We're going to get out of here. Big up to you guys in the chat. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I think I might be on with Hugh tonight. He's at work, so he's not messaging me back late yet. But if I am, it'll be 7 p.m. So make sure you guys come join me. I'll be live tonight anyway, no matter what. I'm going on Saeed's channel now. I'm on with Dan Potts at 8 p.m. on his channel as well. So make sure you jump in on them. Nobbins has got his post-match reaction video out.
There will be a post-match proper analysis video out as well later today.
Make sure you guys check that one. Keep pressing in for the gay video. Yeah, come on. We need this released. Yeah. Honestly, man. You've fallen off.
Out. I have low key. Yeah, it's just because I've been doing lots of different content on the channel recently, so it's eating up my time a little bit. And there's many things going on. I did bare wedding planning in January, like that was the month of the wedding, and I got a lot sorted. But it did, the gay video did take a back seat as a consequence. But I got basically everything booked for the wedding, so
Okay. Sweet. Right, lads. I'll see you on Saeed's channel, man. It should be a fun show, man. Smash the likes on the way out. Subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.